Of the presidential aspirants from the Southwest who have declared an intention to run, two presidential hopefuls do stand out in the ruling All Progressives Congress, the APC. One of the leading contenders from the Southwest is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whose declaration to run for the 2023 presidential election in Nigeria has been a roller coaster since the beginning of this year. Obviously not expecting one of his political mentees to challenge him to a presidential contest, the former Lagos State Governor and frontline presidential hopeful, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, yesterday denied Vice President Osinbajo as a political son, declaring he has no son grown enough to declare for president. But Osinbajo, who announced his intention to succeed his current principal, President Muhammadu Buhari, yesterday through a short video uploaded on various social media platforms, said his over 7 years of working with Buhari had provided him requisite insights to complete what the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, has started. For more on the Southwest political bigwigs, Senator Magnus Abe, a die-hard supporter of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu Group, BAT, joins us now from Abuja. And here in Lagos, we have Olugbenga Olaoye, Co-Convener, the Asiwaju Think Tank, TOTT. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. Good morning, Tunu. Good morning, Rufai.
Morning. Well, let's start with you, since you are sitting down at the same table with us here. We'll go to Magnus Abe later. Well, some people are interpreting the Vice President's declaration of interest as an act of disloyalty, knowing that his former principal, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is interested in the same thing. And some people have added that Yoruba land, the Southwest, is going to be a big battleground. So what's your take on this? Do you think that the Vice President has committed some kind of moral, crime to stand up to his former boss and say, both of us are interested in the same thing, and we'll slug it out?
Thank you very much, Dr. Abati. This question has been heard, time and time again. It's been discussed. It's been overflogged. And I will start my conversation. I'll pick it up from one of the things that Mr. Peter Obi said. He said, and I quote, that if the son is preferred, let us go with the son. Because issues in public finance, issues in budgeting, requires a lot of integrity. And who is the man that has the experience? Who is the man that has the persona? Who is the man that has been in the corridors of power to oversee a lot of things around the economy? Is no other than the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo. So I don't see it as an affront. I don't see it as a betrayal. He's the man whom the cap fits at this point in time in our history as a nation. The soul of Nigeria is in a contest between the bourgeois and the masses. If you go anywhere in Nigeria today and you just do a little survey amongst the people, the name on everybody's lips is Yemi Osinbajo. And it is time for us as a nation to look at who will best represent the interests of the common man and give such an individual the mandate to take Nigeria to the promised land. So I would say that this is not an issue around affront or betrayal. It is about the interest of over 200 million Nigerians who are looking up to the Vice President to take up the gauntlet and run for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2023. And that is what we at the Asiwaju Think Tank, that's what we are driving, alongside over 350 other support groups spread across the nooks and crannies of the nation. If you recall the declaration that took place yesterday, spontaneously, there were rallies, there were jubilations all over, and that is the only declaration that brought about such excitement, such jubilation, and such belief that at last, the man we have been waiting for has come. The cat has been let out of the bag. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you. So, Senator Abe, my question is for you. What's your reaction to everything Mr. Olaoye just said, and also your reaction to the declaration by the Vice President, and that, I'm sure it's going to be a famous quote by Asiwaju Tinubu, that he has no son old enough to declare for president?
Well, thank you very much. Let me first of all thank our listeners for giving us their time this morning. And to say that I take a totally different view from what is being canvassed here right now. First of all, we have to realize that what we're talking about is an internal party affair of the All Progressives Congress. So I don't want us to degenerate into a situation where we begin to call each other names, and this is an internal affair of the All Progressives Congress, and I don't think we should degenerate to a state where we begin to call names and call each other names and all that. That's what the press would like, because that is what will sell papers and fuel what they are expecting. But the reality of the situation right now is that the Vice President, who is a sitting Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, has declared his intention to run for the office of the President. The leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, has earlier said that he is running for that office. Those who know Asiwaju know that he's a born Democrat. And if there is any individual in this country that personifies democracy, it is Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. You will recollect that at a point in this country, we had a situation where the ruling party, the PDP, was announcing results regardless of what the electorate would say. And it was Asiwaju who took the bull by the horn and planned his elections methodically and strategically in such a way that he had every record to be able to go to the courts and recover each of those states for the ACN. And it was the ACN and the CPC that formed the foundation for the creation of the All Progressives Congress. And even then, you will recollect that Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, as a convener of the ACN, and President Muhammadu Buhari could have sat down to say, okay, we have agreed that it is Buhari that will be the candidate. But that's not what they did. They submitted that decision to a clear, open, and transparent process. And they allowed everybody who was interested, including those who just joined the party after they formed it, to join in the race and participate openly and freely. And it was done in an atmosphere of mutual respect, tolerant for opposing views, and at the end of the day, Buhari emerged as the candidate of the APC, and every other person could come together and support him. I think that given the situation we have now in the APC, that is the kind of spirit that we want. Osinbajo, the Vice President, is a formidable member of the party, and he's welcome to the race to contest if he so desires. But what we need, the constitution of the All Progressives Congress does not provide for any consensus. There will be a contest. And anybody who knows Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu knows that he is already working on a pathway that will lead him to victory in a contest. And that's what he's doing. And that's what I think that any other person who is interested in being president should focus on. I don't think that all this name-calling and animosity would help us to be able to get to where we need to go to. After all, speaking quite frankly, nobody would think that there is anybody whose support will not be required at the end of the day when we finish with our internal party considerations. We will need everybody to be able to convince the Nigerian people that the All Progressives Congress deserves a chance to continue to run the affairs of this country. And everybody is important to that process. So I think the Vice President is welcome to the race. I expect him to chart a clear course for how he will get the support of other party members and be able to clinch the ticket of the party. That is what Asiwaju is doing. That's what he's focused on doing. And that's what he has been doing, meeting with potential delegates, talking with leaders of the party, totally focused on how this party will be able to overcome its difficulties and challenges and be able to continue to provide leadership for this country. And I think that in that process, every hand is welcome. What we need is respect for other participants in the process, a transparent process that would allow and make it possible for all those who participated to be able to work together at the end of the process. That's what I think we need at this point.
All right, so I'll come to you, then I'll also come to you, Senator Magnus. A lot of people are saying, yeah, Professor Osinbajo in the race, he's campaigning based on his record, but they're saying, what are his records? I mean, the economy has not done well. We normally know that the vice president handles the economy, but year on year, the economy has gone down. Unemployment is the highest. A lot of people say it's been the worst for Nigerians in recent times. So what is it, that the vice president have as a platform or a pedestal to campaign on? Because they say, this administration has failed a lot of Nigerians. It's never been this bad. The economy is not stupid, like they say. And I'll come to you, Senator Magnus Abe. You cannot deny the fact that, Professor Yemi Osinbajo's declaration will whittle down the support, Asiwaju has got. Anything now, in terms of delegate count, will be split down the middle. I want to ask you, what countermeasures, is your camp and the Asiwaju camp taking as regards this? Because it is definitely going to scatter everything, like they say in Nigerian Palace, or bring a lot of wahala to your aspiration. So you come first.
Okay, thank you very much. Talking about...
No, hang on a minute, sir. You'll come afterwards, but you come first, yes.
Thank you very much, Rufai. Talking about the economy, you would also realize that the economy we are talking about is not peculiar to Nigeria alone. We've come out of COVID-19, which impacted the entire world, which hampered production, supply chain, disrupted everything. And now we're moving away from COVID. We have Russia-Ukraine crisis. And in governance is a continuum. And it's possible you have a quartet in a relay race. You could have a weak first, second, third leg and have a strong final leg. And this is what Vice President Yemi Osinbajo represents. We believe strongly that if given the power as the C of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he will take us from these doldrums and get Nigeria to the promised land.
So his predecessor is weak, that's what you said?
Well, I'm not, okay, so let me not say he's weak, but we know what happened to President Muhammadu Buhari at the inception of his administration. He spent a lot of period away from Nigeria because of his health. I don't wish anybody ill health. We're all seated here today doing what we're supposed to do because we have good health. And it's also on record that some people saw that as an opportunity to hijack the government. It is only recently that we're beginning to see a lot of activities around the vice president's office. So if the president, hale and hearty, mentally fit, can move, can lead from the front. In fact, I had it, on good authority that when Vice President Osinbajo, directs the affairs of the Fed, it's a different ballgame. It's like you are in a bank's NPR. So we need a leader who is mentally sound, articulate, and can inspire confidence in the people that is leading. So this is our conviction and this is our hope for a new Nigeria.
Okay, Senator Magnus Abe, obviously a lot of people say this might bring a lot of problems to Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu's aspiration. It might just be almost all over.
Well, first of all, let me say very, very clearly that to say that the economy is in doldrums when you are the one running the economy, it does not help our conversation. But that said, a lot has been said about how this would affect the Asiwaju campaign. Let me assure Nigerians, and indeed assure the teeming supporters of Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, that the declaration of the vice president is not a surprise. It's something that every politician who is aware of what is happening in this country has known was coming. The groundwork has been going on. And like any serious campaign, we not only monitor what we are doing, we keep an eye on what others are also doing. So it is not a surprise, and it does not in any way affect the plans of the Asiwaju campaign and what we're committed to doing for this country. We don't want to keep going. Like I said, this is an internal party affair, and in a few months, this whole thing will be over, and the candidate of the party will emerge by the participation and transparent participation of party members across this country. And Asiwaju has been reaching out to them in every way possible and doing so in a manner that is consistent with his views and his track record about what we need to do to move this country forward. So I think that's where we're focused. Sometimes a lot of what the impression you have in the press about some of these things may not be actually what is playing out in the real theater of politics. So I would also like to caution, this is a very emotional topic, and there is no doubt that given that this involves human beings and people with different emotions, there are going to be those who have access to grind with Asiwaju, who would use the opportunity of what is perceived as a split within the House to use the candidacy or the aspiration of Vice President Yemi Osinbajo to try to disparage Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. There will also be those on the Asiwaju side who may have issues with Vice President Osinbajo and would like to use this opportunity to take their pound of flesh. That is expected in politics, but I believe that as leaders, we should be able to look beyond that. The presidency is a Nigerian affair. It is not only a Southwest affair, but even in the Southwest, anybody who watches the politics of the All Progressives Congress knows that Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu is in a very solid position as far as the Southwest is concerned, and is reaching out across the country. It's a national game. And anybody who feels that he has something to offer Nigerians is welcome to bring what he has to the table. And we should discuss that in a mutually respectful and serious manner, because this is a very serious topic. But what I know is that over the past 20-something years of our democratic experiment, there is nobody in this country who has not had some interaction, not just in terms of his person, but in terms of his politics with Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. And so when you've been around for that long, you're bound to have a lot of friends. You're also bound to have a lot of perceived enemies and all that comes into play. But the truth of the matter is that Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu has accumulated more friends by his actions and reach across this country over the years than any other politician that is alive today. And he has contributed more to democracy in this country than anybody that is alive today. So when a man like that, who everybody knows is a strategist as far as politics is concerned, finally comes out to say that he wants to run for president, it is clear that he knows what he's doing, and he's worked hard at what he thinks we can achieve in this country. His track record is there, not just in Lagos, but even across his impact on the politics of this country, from his challenges on behalf of democracy to the Obasanjo regime till today. So he's somebody who is well known. His track record is clear, and his commitment to this country is not debatable. As for all these issues about Asiwaju's health and all that, let me say that in our own tradition, we pray for people to get well if they are ill. But when a man is not sick and has not told you he's sick, and then you begin to make his health a topic of discussion, I don't think that is right in these circumstances. I think we should focus on the issues. First of all, this is a party election. As party leaders, it is our responsibility to ensure that the APC is able to produce the next government. To be able to achieve that, we must have a contest in which those who disagree can participate And at the end of the day, we are able to reach a position where we can all work together, and there is room for, however we have disagreed, for us to be able to come on board and offer our best to the country. I think that is the kind of race that Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu is committed to, and that is what he has been doing. And I will call on all others who are interested in the race to come on board. Feel free, walk your way through the process, so that we work together to create a process that at the end of the day, no matter the outcome, all of us will be proud of the process, and we can work together to defeat our real opponents, that is the opposing party. And we should also leave room for others to come and join. It's not just Vice President Osinbajo and Asiwaju. Anybody, even people in the PDP today, if they are not able to find accommodation in the PDP, they can come here. We'll make space for them to also participate. It's a political party that is open to all Nigerians who believe in the philosophy and ideology of this party, which is to create a better country for all Nigerians, no matter what our present circumstances and challenges may be. And that is what I think we should all be committed to.
Okay, Olaoye, let me come back to you. One major criticism about Vice President's ambition is that he's not primarily a politician, although he's been in that space for quite some time. He's better known as an academic. And people ask the question, even in his own constituency, in Ogun State, in the entire Southwest, does he even have the structures? Because the structures in the Southwest will seem to be more or less in the hands of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has the advantage of even having a much broader, national space, appeal in terms of structures, in terms of, given his position as national leader of the party. So what are the chances, really, of the Vice President's, likely emergence as the flag bearer of the APC? And where is the oxygen coming from? Because this support group, think tank, you guys have been going up and down, and all of a sudden, the Vice President has found some oxygen to come out to declare.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abati. Well, the support groups didn't start today, and like I said earlier on, there are over 400 support groups all over the Federation, and with chapters in every local government. For the support base of the Vice President, just like the Senator said, this is a party affair. And our appeal to the party leaders is to come up with a scenario such that we don't win a battle and lose the war. Because the opposition, they are watching. And if we make a mistake of putting forward a candidate who will not get the sentiments of the generality of Nigerians, then what we would have done is to have won the battle and lose the war. As we speak today, anywhere you go in Nigeria, we've done some rallies, even before the declaration of the Vice President. We were in Kano, we were in Uyo, we were in Abuja during the convention, and we could see that this is the man that the people want. So like the Senator rightly said, this is still a party affair, but what we are trying to guard against is a decision whereby, okay, so the man that is more popular, that has the structure, that has the cash and all of that, he has won, and then we now put it, put him side by side with the opposition, and then we now realize that, oh, have we made a mistake? So that's what we're trying to guard against. The party structure still remains the Vice President's structure because he's on a joint ticket with the incumbent. So about structure, about Southwest, he's well loved in the state, he's well loved in the North, he's well everywhere. He's the man of the people. So I don't see having a structure or popularity or the war chest. People are doing a lot. People are spending their time, their energy, their money to ensure that the candidacy and the emergence of the Vice President becomes a reality. Thank you.
And you believe all these things you said?
Absolutely, sir.
You sure?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Well, gentlemen, we'd like to thank both of you, Senator Magnus Abe, and also...
Sorry,
okay.
Abati. Let me just say that there is a process for determining what the people want. And that process cannot be by self-organized rallies and all that. There's a process. Within the party, there will be a process for determining what the party wants. And within the general population, there's also a process. So I think that as much as possible, let us conduct ourselves in such a manner that that process will be acceptable, transparent, fair to every participant. And at the end of the day, we should be able to come together as a party to deliver our candidates. When people begin to say if a particular candidate emerges from a process in which they will willingly submit themselves, but that candidate will not be acceptable to the people, how will the candidate emerge from a process you submitted to and did not emerge if the candidate is not acceptable? It is a responsibility of the party when we have picked a candidate to deliver that candidate. And I want to say very boldly and clearly to Nigerians that the All Progressives Congress will be able to deliver a candidate that it chooses from a transparent and free and fair process.
Right,
the candidate
Senator.
we choose from that process will be the next president of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you. If I could come in here, I just have a question for you. You said earlier, hearkening back to the past, that nobody alive has done more for democracy than Asiwaju Tinubu. Well, people like Chief Ayo Adebanjo, Chief Olusegun Osoba might have an argument there. But beyond his past antecedents, beyond his national reach, which is undeniable, what are the key differences between Asiwaju Tinubu and the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo? I'd like to ask you first, Senator Abe, then I'll ask you, Mr. Olaoye.
You know, like I said, the Vice President is the sitting Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and he's one of the leaders of our party, the All Progressives Congress. At the end of the day, whoever emerges from this process will require the support of the other. So as far as is possible, I don't want to go into saying things for or against either candidate, that either aspirant, that would make that process difficult for us to handle. But what I'm saying is that whatever advantages you have, market it to the party leaders and other people who will participate in that process. But in doing so, let us avoid a situation where we will allow the press and enemies of our party and enemies of our leaders to come and feast on a narrative that does not help either of them. So for now, everybody has declared everybody should go to the field and let us go and walk. That's what I would say at this point.
Right. Mr. Olaoye, are you able to distinguish between Asiwaju and the VP?
Well, there are two individuals, from the same political family, from the same political party. And it also further strengthens the party when we begin to see heavyweights, throw up the challenge at each other. So my closing remarks to this will just be, may the best man win.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. Senator Magnus Abe and also Olugbenga Olaoye.
Thank you very
We
much.
wish your candidates the best of luck.